So I have already explained that the philosophy behind ggplot2 is the fact that a graph consists of many layers and you put layer on top of layer. That's what the plus does in your final command. So the plus puts layers on top of other layers. And the different layers that he uses are, first of all, the data set. We have already seen that. That's what you put here in the ggplot function. That's the data set, the data that you want to plot. So that's your first layer. Always it's your first layer. And then on top of that, you add additional layers. So you can add geoms, and geoms define what kind of plot you want to make. So it's either geoms or the stat summary function that you use here. And then you have still additional layers. You have a layer called labels to set the titles of your axis and your plot. You have a layer called scales that defines what the axis look like. Is it a logarithmic axis, for instance? What is the range of the axis? Where am I going to put tick marks on the axis? That's what scales does. So scales define exactly what the axis look like, and scales also define what the legend looks like. Which colors are you going to use for your bars? And what is the title of the legend? That's what scale does. You have an additional layer called facets, and that's the one that you use when you want to put multiple plots on the same figure. And then you have the last layer, and that's called themes, and this defines all the other stuff. Everything you haven't defined in one of the other layers comes in themes. For instance, what is the background color of your plot? What does the text look like? Is it italic? Which font are you going to use? That kind of thing. So this is all defined in themes. So, and this system of layers makes that you can make figures exactly like you want them to. It can sometimes be complex to do it, but you can define everything.